So everybody knows there's three great philosophical questions for which thus far people have found no true answer. Number one, what happens after we die? Number two, do we actually have free will? And number three, why do most mortgage lenders suck? Well, I've got good news. While I can't do anything about death or free will, I think I have found some answers on why most mortgage lenders are not worth their salt at all whatsoever. Get rid of them, goodbye. So there's really three answers to this, okay? The first two are pretty quick and rather self-evident, but the third one's the whopper. So please stick around long enough to hear that. Now, number one, look, I'm just gonna be honest, and this whole video is gonna piss off a lot of mortgage officers out there if they watch it, because they'll probably realize I'm talking about them, but I don't care, whatever. But the number one reason that I think most mortgage loan originators suck is that there's not enough barriers to entry into this industry. We need more. So essentially, if I did decide I wanted to be a mortgage loan officer. Now, I was already involved in real estate, so I came with a much greater base of knowledge than most people. But let's say I didn't. Say I'm jack off the street, I just quit my job, got fired, got laid off, living in my mom's basement, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get into mortgages. I see this guy on Instagram, he's kicking. I could do that, right? So what do I gotta do? Well, primarily pass a test. So there is an exam given by the NMLS that is twofold. One will be federal in nature, and the other portion will be state specific, right? So Colorado, I'd have to pass both of those and get my initial license in the state of Colorado. Like real estate, each state carries its own licensure. So every state you want to be licensed in, you got to pass the exam for that state. But all right, I passed my test. I got the minimum. I believe it was 75%. I pay some dues for licensure, fingerprint, background check, la-di-da. I find a company that will let me hang my license there, which usually isn't very hard either. And then boom, I am qualified to originate loans. That's just, I'm sorry, there needs to be a little bit more to it than that, just because, as I will scream from the high heavens, a mortgage for most of us is the single biggest financial transaction we will ever undertake. And I feel like the person that you choose to assist you in that journey needs to have done a little bit more than pass a single test. So more barriers to entry. The thing is, the great thing about this industry is anybody can get their foot in the door and be successful, right? The bad thing is that anybody could get their foot in the door, right? So you see a lot of end up with mortgage licenses, which is why you get a lot of these stories that you hear or that you might hear on my channel about total just not taking care of people, lying, fraud, not understanding loans or guidelines or any of that. So, number one, way more barriers to entry. Here's number two, unrealistic expectations. And I think some of this, it's not like you go to the movie theater and you see the life and times of a mortgage lender, right? So I think it's social media that's done this, where somebody will follow or see an LO on Instagram or Facebook mainly, maybe TikTok, and they'll see a lot of lifestyle stuff, right? Like this guy is showing off his shoe collection. This guy is, on vacation in Mexico. Well, this lady's having drinks with her friends every afternoon at 2 p.m. That lifestyle stuff where you don't really get context of how they got there, if they're really there or not. You just get this carefully orchestrated snapshot. And I don't know if a lot of folks are mature enough to realize that A, that might just be fraudulent and fake, like much of social media is, or B, the long, windy, and bumpy road that got them into position to where they can have drinks at 2 p.m. and go on vacations and have nice things, right? They just think that I'm gonna hop into this industry, I'm gonna pile up a bunch of income because I'm and then I'm going to be able to replicate what I've seen on social media. Does not work that way. I do know LOs that have that sort of presence on social media, but they've all been around a long time and they're all incredibly successful. They've earned where they're at. It's not day 1 or day 2 or day 3. Okay, it's like year 10, year 15. Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people are just mature enough to understand that. So unrealistic expectations, and that's really the job of companies when they bring on raw LOs to like little expectation management. Hey man, you know, you're not gonna get rich in 6 months. You're not gonna do this, you're not gonna do that, right? It takes work, right? A lot of hours of commitment, discipline, and work to get anywhere close to what you see these people doing. So that's number 2. Now here's number 3, and this is the main one. And this is honestly the reason a lot of people that are in self-employed industries fail, okay? And a lot of people, I've given this speech in front of a lot of groups before, or even privately, and a lot of people bristle. They shut, no, they don't want to hear it. But it's the truth. It's the truth I've seen repeated over and over and over in our own industry, with loan officers, real estate agents, with insurance brokers, with anybody that is reliant on commission-based income, okay? And that is, here it is, you ready? Everybody wants to be their own boss until it comes time to be their own boss. If you're your own boss, you need to be the hardest, most demanding, least flexible boss you've ever had. Because that's how you're going to be successful, being self-employed in a commission-based industry. I'm the roughest boss I ever had. I don't take from my employee. No excuses, no days off, like no skipping tasks, no sleeping in until 8 a.m., no sleeping in until 7 a.m. I barely sleep until 6:30 a.m. Usually I'm up between 5 and 5:30. I do not compromise. I expect greatness out of my employee. Me? That's how you have to be, okay? And the truth is, the vast majority of people cannot be that for themselves. The vast majority of people need a boss. They need someone to hold them accountable. They need someone to ensure they stay on task, that they hold a schedule, that they show up when they're supposed to, that they're not playing around at the water fountain, that they're not watching TV at 11:30 in the morning, that they're not like just doing things other than income producing activities. And if you're sitting to yourself over there, like watching this video, like, trust me, I do. I have seen so many people flame out of this industry because they could not properly manage themselves, right? And here's the thing, y'all. If you can't manage yourself, if you don't have the discipline to do all the little things required to be successful, are you going to be able to provide the best and most valuable service to a buyer? The answer is no. You can't have mortgages. You can't do it. There's no real part-timers here. So when I hear these stories, you know, I'm talking to this lender for 2 weeks. I haven't gotten any estimates from them. You know, they screwed up all the numbers. They didn't even know what BAS was, and all these stories. It's people that are not committed. They're half. They've got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Complete half measures. It's because they're not a good boss to themselves. Because if they were a good boss to themselves, they would demand excellence. Even if they were only doing 1 loan a month, that would be the best loan anybody ever did that month. But they don't hold themselves accountable. They don't hold themselves to any kind of standard. You know why you couldn't get in touch with them at 8 o'clock in the morning? Because they're still in bed. You know why you couldn't get in touch with them at 3:30 p.m.? Because they're off screwing around, playing video games, doing anything other than your loan. So people not being able to boss, to manage, to take self-responsibility, to exert discipline when there's no one else around to do it for them, in my opinion, is the number one reason most lenders suck the big one, man. It's why you can't trust them. It's why they're not responsible. It's why they're not responsive. It's why they tend to exert bad experiences on consumers and give the rest of us a very, very bad name. So long story short, if you're still on this video, do your due diligence before you get linked in with a lender. Now that you know most of them suck, hopefully you'll be keeping an eye out for these red flags. You'll do a little due diligence. Perhaps you'll interview more than one, because there are good ones out there, okay? I like to think I'm a good one. I'm certainly not the only one, all right? But sometimes you got to dig through the trash to find them, okay? If you have any questions on this, please reach out. We can set up a consult. I'll interview with you. At the very least, I will provide you with the proper questions to ask a prospective mortgage lender to make sure that they are the right person to guide you through this journey. If you like my content, please subscribe to this channel and check out my other videos.